Lord, yung love story namin, gawin mo lang boring. Ayoko na exciting. Tatanda lang kami. Ayoko ng ganyan. Parang ang dami naman sinasabi na social distancing, wash your hands, ganyan. But when you get it, parang you don't know what to do. Hirap naman ito. Tapos mamaya, okay na naman ako. Tama ba binibideo ko to? Di pa alam ng family ko. Hindi ko pa sinasabi.
Hi everyone! I'm Fate Cunanan, a medical doctor from the Philippines. Since I've started making videos for this YouTube channel, I have been receiving messages for me to do a reaction video as a medical doctor about. But for so long, I was hesitant to do it at first. But this video from Mam Divine Lee struck me the most. And so I have decided to make this reaction video and use this platform for me to share what I know and understand as a medical doctor based from what Mam Divine Lee and her husband, Mr. Blake, has experienced. So for you who is still new to my channel, I'm currently a general practitioner or a medical doctor in the Philippines, and I make variety of videos about medical field from my experiences from pre-med to medicine and my life now as a moonlighter. If you want to know more about this video, please continue on watching, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. So without further ado, let's get to it.
We'll see what we went through.
This is gonna be hard. Because Blake tested positive. Believe it or not, guys, we've been so careful. Di pa kami lumalabas since March 14. Wala pa kami nakitang tao. So I guess it debunks all the claim na it's person to person. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor.
What we know about the transmission of coronavirus is transmitted via droplets. Maaari kang maapektuhan kung ang isang tao ay bumahing or nakausap mo within 1 meter na maaaring dumapo sa mata, sa ilong o sa bibig ng isang tao. Maaari nitong maging airborne when performing aerosol-generating procedures such as nebulization, intubation, o kaya suctioning. In the case of Mam Divine Lee, they stayed in their house. So, since March, it's also true about this virus is that it can stay on surfaces. So, maaari ito magstay sa mga hinahawakan natin, kagaya ng mga doorknobs, plastic, paper, cardboard, o kaya naman sa mga home deliveries o mga packages na nare-receive natin sa ating mga bahay. What's important about that is that we sanitize these items, we alcoholize them, disinfect them, at panatilihin pa rin natin ang proper hygiene.
I did 3 rapid tests on him and it was all negative. Me being really aning got him a swab test because he's been having sore throat.
Ginawa nila Mam Divine Lee is that they perform at first antibody test. So these rapid antibody tests are used to check if a person has an active infection or acute infection. Yun yung IgM. So magpa-positive ka with IgM if meron kang current state of infection, active or acute. IgG positive naman if you had previous infection or previous exposure from that disease. So, meron ka ng antibodies. Rapid tests are not really specific and not highly sensitive of the disease since they could test positive on other disease condition. So, pwede ka silang maging falsely negative or falsely positive. So, in the case of Mam Divine Lee, nag-perform silang rapid antibody test na 3. All of them were negative. But for the RT-PCR, which is the gold standard treatment para sa COVID, Mr. Blake tested positive. Still present, RT-PCR pa din or the reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction ang confirmatory test or gold standard treatment of COVID.
When he found out we're positive, tumakbo kagad yung doctor ko. Na-OB ha, hindi man lang siya infectious disease doctor net. Really thankful for her.
Nagpadala siya kaagad niyan.
Sent an oximeter. This is
So, yung ginamit nila is a pulse oximeter. So, what is a pulse oximeter? Pulse oximeter is a small, clip-like device. Iniipit siya sa ating mga fingers, o kaya sa earlobe, o kaya sa toes of a person. It is non-invasive, painless. It's used to check the oxygen level or oxygen saturation ng isang person. So, So the level of oxygen in our blood is important to take note for us to check if the heart is pumping effectively blood and distributing oxygen in our body. So normally, with the use of pulse oximeter, ang normal oxygen saturation ng isang tao is 95 to 100%.
Mine started with a sore throat for 3 days. And then there was a fever. Yung fever mo,
Mababa lang.
38. Then mawala na naman bukas. And then the next day, 38. It's just parang nandyan lang siya eh. Cough, of course, yung ubo. Diarrhea. And then next is yung smell mo and taste, nag-iba. Ang funny nga, Divine gusto mag-order ng takeout. Normally, hindi ako nag-no noon. But
Regarding COVID, to just give you a background about it, meron tayong mga tinatawag na ACE2 receptors. Itong mga receptors nito ay nakikita sa epithelium ng ating nose, ng mouth, sa lungs natin, tapos meron din sa GI tract or sa gastrointestinal system natin. Ang ACE2 receptors nito ay importante or vital sa ating katawan kasi part sila ng alveoli. Alveoli nito ang pinakahuling parte dun sa ating respiratory tract o sa ating lungs. Dito sa mga alveoli na to, nangyayari yung gas exchange. What happens with COVID-19? Bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng mga flu-like symptoms or respiratory symptoms? The coronavirus binds with these ACE2 receptors na present sa epithelium ng nose natin, sa mouth natin, sa respiratory system, or sa gastrointestinal system natin, kita sa ating mga alveoli, therefore preventing the usual gas exchange. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga respiratory symptoms. Mga flu-like symptoms na kailangan natin bantayan, or mga mild symptoms na kailangan natin bantayan regarding COVID are fever, more than 37.8, pananakit ng lalamunan or pangangati ng lalamunan, pananakit ng katawan, hirap sa paghihinga, o kaya naman pag-ubo, kaya pagsipon, nakit ng ulo. So, there have been studies na may mga tao na nawawala na rin ng sense of smell at saka sense of taste. What could be the probable explanation for that? Sabi nga kanina, since yung mga ACE2 receptors natin ay nakikita din sa epithelium ng ating nose, so there could be explanation for that if a person is infected with coronavirus. So nawawalan din siya ng sense of smell or anosmia. Sense of smell could also affect yung mga brain receptors natin on perceiving flavors. Therefore, nawawalan din ng tao ng panlasa. So another symptoms na nako-correlate din with COVID-19 is the diarrhea. So since meron din tayong ACE2 receptor sa ating gastrointestinal system, person also is manifesting the coronavirus could also manifest diarrhea.
Yes. Sobrang important ng thermometer. Ako basta tumuntong ka ng 37.2, nag-worry na ako. So, we kept the thermometer right beside us all the time. Okay, mahilig ako ng mga
Just what Mam Divine Lee did, it is very important to monitor and record your signs and symptoms. In case of a thermal scanner or thermometer, you could record your temperature every 4 hours so that you could see kung paano yung pattern ng fever mo. Is it spiking up? Bumabalik ba siya sa normal? Continuously ba na mataas siya? So, this recording of your signs and symptoms could be of help to your clinician in managing and treating you.
Ako wala akong symptoms. We're just taking precaution because I was exposed to bleak. So, I decided to isolate myself. My oxymeter, this one, is so important because this checks the oxygen in your body. And it's currently 97, 98, 99. So far, all good. I also check my temperature every day. Actually, every hour. Na 36.5.
Yung ginawa ni Mam Divine Lee that if a person is exposed to a confirmed case or sa merong probable case ng COVID, it's important for you to isolate yourself. What is the difference between isolation and quarantine? The difference is that isolation is separating the one who is sick or the one who is contagious from the people that are not sick. Contrary, with quarantine, it is separating those people who were exposed to the person who doesn't have the symptoms but may have the disease.
He got a sore throat na he thought galing lang sa
from ice cream. I really think that was the trigger point, no? Maybe I was already weak at the time. The virus, nasa katawan ko na yun. Pero baka lang walang symptoms at that time, pero pag trigger ng sore throat, tuloy-tuloy na siya.
Possible kasi na makahawa ang isang taong asymptomatic or COVID positive pero walang sintomas na pinapakita at present. While in incubation period, since wala pa nga symptoms na pinapakita on COVID, this person could go out in public, expose the other people with the virus, knowingly, therefore spreading it more. Very important that if you have a close contact with a person who's positive, very important na mag-isolate ka na or mag-quarantine ka na agad for 2 weeks. Within that 2 weeks, you have to monitor yourself if you are having symptoms or not. Definition ng close contact. Close contact is any individual within 6 feet, exposed ka at least 15 minutes, 2 days prior dun sa onset ng symptoms or kahit wala pa siyang symptoms na pinapakita until dun sa time na nag-positive siya or na-isolate na yung tao.
I can hear Blake coughing really bad. His oxygen meter is good. Sana matapos na to. We also reported to DOH. I think pag nag-swab ka, i-report talaga. But now we got a call that health workers will be coming to check up on Blake. Actually, I'm just scared if they have to pull him out or something. But I think they're gonna do another swab test. So we will see. Let's wait for that. Blake is feeling better. His temperature is 37.7. We're still considering bringing him to the hospital if he worsens. Problem lang kasi if you're staying home, you cannot do a chest x-ray. Our basis lang is the oxymeter.
Nasabi kanina na if you have mild symptoms or na-expose ka sa tao na may COVID, you have to monitor yourself symptoms within 2 weeks. So ano yung signal for you to go to the hospital and set an appointment? Mga kailangan na bantayan na symptoms. Tuloy-tuloy na mataas na lagnat, matagal na pag-upo, hirap sa paghinga, paninikip ng dibdib, o kaya naman ay pagtatain ng maraming beses. Regards to Mam Divine Lee's case, tama yung ginawa niya na tumawag muna sa ER or sa healthcare facility to set for an appointment prior going to the facility.
What I'm saying is that yung rapid test, you can test negative even though you're already spreading the virus.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, really good to just get a swab test and then do your rapid test after para you know your IgG and IgM level.
Ang confirmatory test pa din natin with COVID is the RT-PCR. This one is highly sensitive and highly specific. Ang molecular test na ito ay ginagamit sa confirmatory test or gold standard treatment natin for COVID. Yung ginagawa niya is pwede sila mag-swab nasopharyngeal, so from the nose until dun sa dulo ng lalaugan natin, or oropharyngeal, so from the mouth until dun sa dulo ng lalaugan. So anong ginagawa sa RT-PCR or this reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction? Ang swab na makukuha will contain human cells, the virus cells, and the microbes. Regards to our human cells, these are made up of DNA as our genetic material. However, itong SARS-CoV-2 natin, or this coronavirus, is made up of RNA as its genetic material. Objective natin ng COVID-19 swab is to determine kung ano ba yung viral genome from that sample or from that swab. RNA from that swab is not sufficient enough for a sample. So therefore, RT-PCR is being done. RT-PCR is being done to make a lot of DNA copies from that RNA. It takes about 30 to 45 cycles to make these DNA copies. Na na-isolate ng virus na ito from the RT-PCR, it could already be detected if the person is really positive of having the coronavirus or not.
Maka-isolate siya. I forgot to tell you guys, if you're positive, you have to say pala. If you're in a condo, you have to tell your admin, you have to be responsible. So, ginawa namin lahat yan. And then LGU, but we still advise them that we have a positive and then there was no person-to-person contact.
Reporting to the local government unit and declaring this information to healthcare workers is very essential and very helpful to prevent the spread of the disease or sa contact tracing. Person is exposed to these confirmed cases, ask for your help to be honest and responsible in declaring this information kasi very, very helpful siya, especially in limiting the spread of the disease in the contact tracing and preventing the spread of the virus.
Disinfecting everything. Ako hindi pa rin ako lalabas.
How do you disinfect? That's the question that people will ask. UV? UVC C dapat. And then your disinfectant kami, sprayan nyo. Yung Lysol, I know, is approved.
Approved na. The Lysol can
Spray,
it's just approved as it can really kill the virus. So that those Lysol cans are okay.
Yeah. And leave it out. Yun, I think some of our packages we weren't able to do. The other two we were able to do. But you have to leave it out because kumbaga may lifespan lang daw yung virus. But I don't know it keeps changing what they're saying. At least you put that extra measure. Kung hindi naman nyo kailangan kagad hawakan, pwede nyo i-leave out muna for a couple of days before you touch the thing.
Since the virus was proven nga to stay on surfaces, important pa din ang pagdi-disinfect natin or pagsasanitize ng mga gamit na ito na lagi nating hinahawakan o kaya yung mga packages or deliveries na pinapadala sa ating bahay. This could be disinfected with the use of alcohol, yun nga yung mga disinfectant sprays natin, diluted bleach solutions, o kaya naman after doing so, it's also important for us to do our proper hand washing. If you have to use a UV light in disinfecting your things, it's important to you to prevent the exposure from it, especially kung ginagamit mo siya. It damage the skin and it could cause harm to the eyes as well. Important note is the proper hygiene. So, when going out in public o kaya kapag nagtrabaho, it is important na i-disinfect din yung clothes na sinuot at saka maligo pagka-uwi.
Oh my God, hindi ako makahinga. Tinan mo, 99. So that's better than better. Kasi sometimes it's really your brain that's really gonna feeling mo lahat na symptoms meron ka, diba? Good news, the MRI of Blake is good. They saw something.
Other than the physical symptoms that the patient with COVID is experiencing, another important thing na kailangan natin i-consider is yung emotional aspect. Ways for the patient and the people surrounding the patient. For the patient, we already know how it is difficult to be sick and not feel well. For a person with contagious or communicable type of the disease, it becomes more difficult kasi some of them are being mocked or being discriminated. Let us not mock this person, let us not insult them, or let us not discriminate them because they're already in the bad situation. To give the same amount of respect, let's pray for their healing and to not insult these people who are positive of the disease. For the people who are surrounding this person, let us be their support system as well. Encourage them, talk to them, or communicate with them. For case, we also have to be responsible in the declaring the symptoms or if may exposure ka or travel history ka with this person. We have to be responsible and honest in submitting ourselves and declaring these symptoms.
Nagnovena pala ako. Every day, nagnovena ako to Saint Rita. And I called siguro more than 30 saints every night in my prayer. So, kasi parati rin nila tinatanong kanina ako nagnovena dahil alam nila mahilig ako magnovena. So, while Blake was sick, it was Saint Rita. But usually kasi, pagbuntis ako,
Above everything else, beyond science and medicine, I personally believe in the power of prayer. So in these times of crisis, it is very important for us to anchor ourselves to our support system and to Him who is the most powerful. Really praying and hopeful that this pandemic will end.
Elsa Kids. For this video, I want a special shout out to all the nurses and the doctors. Now that we're right in the face of COVID, you know how nice they are to Blake? Like, they go there and then tatawanan na sila. Then they even say na, naiiyak na naman ako kasi ang babait ng tao talaga. And then they say na, Sir, huwag kayo mag-alala. Ako, kaka-positive ko lang last week. Okay na ako. Parang ganun. Alam mo yun, they really give him hope and they give him strength and courage. They're so brave. Isipin mo, galing ka na ng positive. Bumalik ka pa sa work. Tapos parang sabi, may antibodies nang ako eh. Parang ganun. So parang grabe talaga yung saludo ko sa kanila. I mean, if I can have one kid who's in the medical field, oh my God. Parang malaking balik ko sana yun, diba? I don't know, I hope that this Bayanihan Act or something, they can do something naman to benefit the frontliners. Parang dapat may batas.
na certain, if you're in a certain tax group, medyo nakaluwag-luwag ka sa buhay, di ba? Matuto ka naman magbalik dun sa mga tumulong sa'yo. I'm just thinking, like, how do you give back to all these people putting their lives at risk, di ba? Swerte-swerte namin na may room kami sa hospital na kuha, and then may nurses na mababait, the kids are okay, the yayas are okay, we're on our 5th day, we're on the last day of meds. Okay.
Recently to what's happening, I really just feel emotional as well regarding this matter. I just want to take this opportunity in behalf of the frontliners to say thank you to Mam Divine Lee. She's very grateful and thankful to all these medical frontliners of all the sacrifices and of what they did for their patients. Also would like to take this opportunity to ask for everyone's help and to continue praying for us, for the country, for this pandemic. Also would like to ask for your help to continue praying for everyone who is battling this pandemic. So lahat ng mga frontliners, ng IATF, mga government officials, mga policemen, lahat, even people who are staying in their home, simple acts of staying in their home, practicing proper social distancing, wearing of face mask, that's already a big help for us. My heart goes to all the medical frontliners who strive to selflessly work for our patients. So to saving lives, one patient at a time.
Based on my experience, please wear your mask because it's very cruel. You really don't know. Kahit na kami, we've been home, we thought that okay lang kami dito, but tinamaan pa rin kami. So, can you imagine?
But I think the reason why very light din yung atin kasi it's not person
to person. That's why, yeah. Maybe that's one of the reason also na light lang sa amin. But you can never say, naging positive rin kami. So, it's still positive. Positive is positive. So,
Hi!
So that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching with me with regards to the COVID story of Mam Divine Lee and her husband, Mr. Blake. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video, and personally praying for you to be safe and healthy, especially your family, and for the healing of our COVID-19 patients. And also to my brave fellow frontliners, I am one with you in this, and I'm also hopeful that this pandemic will soon come to an end. Lee, Mr. Blake, and the family, I just would like to take this opportunity to thank you for sharing your experiences, because personally I also learned from it. I hope for your continuous recovery. So that's it. If you want to see more reaction videos from me, just comment below. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching again. Stay safe always. See you on my next video. Bye!